Hello everybody, welcome to our CakeFu Master Series. My name is Amelia Carbine and I'm your host. Today we have a really great guest and a really wonderful guest for coming kind of last second on us. We had another trainer lined up and something happened. She had some really big, really cool big thing come up that she couldn't pass up. And so we let her out on it and hurried to find someone else. And Cara Bustos is here with us, and she is so wonderful to jump in last minute and demonstrate what she has to share with us. She's very talented, very good at what she does, and we're really excited to have her and hope you guys can learn a lot from her. So welcome, Cara.
Thank you. That was a nice introduction. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it.
Thank you so much.
One thing that is really fun about Cara is that she really is very good at sharing information and, you know, kind of just being out there like on Facebook and stuff, so that, you know, in the social media, she really is all about sharing, which is what we're all about too. So it really kind of matches and works. So
exactly.
We like that.
I love to share. Sharing is caring. That's what I tell my girls.
That's very important. And you know, I think that it really is important, especially in the kind of industry that we have, that we do share the things that we know, because it just helps to build everybody and build the industry. And so I'm really happy that we have so many people that are so willing to share things. And today you're going to talk to us about basically cake, right? About covering a cake, making it just perfect, just as like a clean, perfect slate, right?
You know, when I started cakes, which is not that long ago, like about 3 years, the first thing I wanted to do was just to decorate the cake, but I had no idea how to even tort a cake. I mean, the first time I torted it, I think my cake was like, I don't know, slanted, or it was terrible when you cut the cake. It didn't look very pretty, and there was a lot of, you know, imperfections in sort of my canvas to decorate, and so I just kind of made it my mission to really figure out how to make your cake from pan to ready to decorate, just to be this perfect sort of canvas. And I would see these beautiful sharp-edged cakes, and I was like, how did they do that? You know, and I really made it my mission to find out. I did go and take a class from Richard Feston over at Baking Arts in San Francisco, and he showed me the whole Ganache technique, and he had his own technique, and I really liked it. There were some things about it that didn't really work for me, so I kind of figured out some other ways around it, and I got those sharp edges, and he helped me figure out how to work with fondant. I don't know if any of you out there are sort of fondant scared, but I was definitely kind of scared of fondant. It would always tear on me or rip or have that elephant skin, or I just couldn't figure fondant out for the life of me. I got really good at buttercream, so to kind of make up for that. And so Ganache cakes really just kind of helped me get a perfect canvas, so that when I go to put the fondant on, it was already perfect to begin with, so the fondant kind of went on much easier. And so I hope that I can share some of what I've kind of figured out on my own, and the techniques that I've learned from so many wonderful people that love to share also.
Yeah.
Well,
that's great. Well, you know, let's talk about you a little bit first before we get into the actual decorating thing. And before we start into that, I want to remind you guys there is a giveaway. There is a little pop-up thing right there. There's a little, actually it's kind of a big button that you can push. It says check it out. Go ahead and click on over there, and you can enter for the giveaway. That's there. So make sure that you enter there. And also the things that we're giving away, there are links to those things in our marketplace that will allow you to purchase the things that are in this giveaway and that Cara will be talking about today. So, all right, back to you, Cara. let's talk about how you actually have kind of a different past from a lot of other people who have gotten into cake decorating. A lot of people, it's I was mom at home, wanted to do something fun, you just kind of happened upon it. You were an actress, is that right?
Yes, that's my first love. My first passion is acting. I've been acting for, oh my gosh, I'll be telling my age, but many, many, many years. I live in Los Angeles, and I came out to Los Angeles a couple years into my college years to pursue my acting, and I did very well for this business. Did lots of guest starring roles on television shows a few years back, and had some really great success. I I kind of stumbled into cakes because I had a family, and the acting world is not very friendly to pregnant actresses.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's funny because every time I was about to get that role that would maybe make me a household name, I was pregnant. So
Oh, dang it.
I know I love my babies, but
Of course.
they kind of got in the way of me going any further with my acting career, which is totally fine because they're just beautiful little girls and I love them dearly. So I chose to stay home and raise them. But it got a little, boring. Changing diapers and play dates and everything for them. And I didn't have that sort of outlet that acting was giving me. And I kind of stumbled onto cakes because we needed a cake for my 6-year-old at the time. She was turning 6, and we needed a cake, and we were trying to save some money. And I kind of found myself in a cake decorating store here in Los Angeles, and it was like wall-to-wall cake stuff, and that fondue.
That fondue stuff. Love that.
Yeah, so I bought a bucket of fondue and fondant. I'm just joking, people. And a heart-shaped cake pan and made a cake. And everybody loved it. And everyone was saying, oh my gosh, that's a great cake. Where did you get the cake from? And I said, I made it. And next thing you know, people were saying, well, can you make my daughter's cake? And can you, what about this? Can you make a Barbie doll cake? And next thing you know, I'm making cakes and exploring YouTube. I went to the YouTube University of Cake Decorating.
And like so many of us have, right?
And I just, kind of fell in love with it. Who knew? Everyone in my family is pretty shocked.
That's awesome.
I can do this now, so.
That's great. Well, you have really perfected the, really crisp, smooth cakes. I want to show you guys just a little bit of what it is that you can do with this. I mean, I know that a lot of people do see the things that you can do with it. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Hang on. There we go.
That's a buttercream cake, actually.
Okay, so that's buttercream. So basically, you can do this, the ganaching effect with buttercream as well. I think.
Yes.
Okay.
My tutorial on ganaching cake, I use the exact same method when I buttercream my cakes. There's no difference other than just a few little tweaks of maybe letting your cake freeze or chill in between a few steps to make sure that the acrylics don't slide. But it's a combination of an upside down method with the 2 acrylics. I use upside down because you can get a flat, level surface on the top of your cake quickly. And also, I use the upside down method because I can then take the bottom acrylic off the cake, saving yourself some money and not giving your acrylics away with every cake that you make. Acrylics can be costly if you're going to do it that way. However, I think it's a very amazing investment in your cake arsenal of tools. to have. I mean, it is a little bit pricey to begin with, but once you have a set in every size that you might possibly make a cake for, then you have it. And I show you how to remove them and use them for another cake.
That's awesome.
Quick. Once everything takes practice. I tell, I do have some students that come over and we do private lessons, and I tell them, you're not going to learn how to do this in 10 minutes. You're going to have to continue to practice, like everything. Practice does eventually make almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you get the hang of it, the more you do it, the faster you become. And I've heard some people say it might take a little bit longer than the usual way. And maybe it will take a little bit longer, but honestly, it's once you get it, it kind of moves like sort of an assembly line fashion. And while one cake is setting, I'm starting on another. While one cake is chilling, I'll remove the acrylics on one. So everything, you have to find your rhythm in cakes. You have to find your method, and then once you have it, I mean, you're just off and running.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a square one.
Oh, squares.
That you've done. Square. That is just. Squares are so hard to do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
my gosh. Talk about one to throw a cake against a wall. Do a square. And you can see in the picture that you're showing, I show on one side is sort of the crumb-coated square. You can see how crazy it looks and not very pretty. And using the acrylics just squares it up beautifully and takes away all the imperfections and just makes a beautiful cake canvas, as I like to call it, for you to continue decorating. So I swear by acrylics. They use them.
They really do make a huge difference. They really do. I'm a believer.
Have you used the acrylic?
I do, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I honestly think that this is one of the most important parts of cake decorating, and people tend to just skip over it.
Yes.
And to have a really good, clean base to your cakes makes so much of a difference. And you can learn to decorate anything and do any kind of designs, but if you don't have a good base to your cake, it's going to really affect things. And so you definitely want to have a nice clean cake. Oh, and here's one more that I wanted to show that I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's a topsy-turvy. That's really cool.
Yes, that is a topsy-turvy cake, and what I've done there is I've used 2 different sizes of acrylic. So once I tapered my cake towards the bottom of the cake, you can see it's smaller as it goes down. I used a different size. So if the top is, I think that was a 12.5 at the top, and the bottom was, I believe that was an 11. I went to a size 11. I do have sets of acrylics in whole sizes and half sizes, so I can use whichever size will work for me at the time. So that was 11, and then I did use the upside down method, so it was upside down at one point. That was a little bit heavy to flip, but I do have some suggestions on larger cakes instead of flipping your cakes. But that one I did manage to flip, and it turned out beautifully. And with the ganache and the crisp, it was just a solid foundation, and I wasn't nervous or scared at all with that cake.
Yeah, okay, so people are asking about where to purchase all of this stuff, and we have the answers. Yay! We worked really hard to get these available for you guys, and we have on the website, on our CakeFu website in the marketplace, we have a set of acrylic circles. We actually have, we decided to do them in sets just because shipping was going to be easier that way. So we have, let's see, we have a 6, 8, and 10, but we have them in 6 1/4 inch, and then we also have 6 1/2 inch. So you can buy whichever set you want depending on the size of your cake, whether it shrinks or not in your pan or whether you carve off a little bit of the cake on the outside. Me personally, I use the 1/4-inch increments. I don't know what you use, Kara.
I use half. I use half.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we have it in the 1/4 and in the half. So depending on how thick you want your buttercream or ganache to be, and then also if your cakes shrink or if you trim them a little bit, there's the 1/4-inch sizes, or there's the 1/2-inch sizes if you if your cakes end up a little bit on the larger side, or you like it a little thicker, that kind of thing. So you have the option to be able to purchase either of those sets, and we have them in a 6, 8, and 10 set. They are through Cake Things that we have bought our acrylics through and have available for you. And so we've got those basic sizes for you guys to go and purchase and try it out and see how things go.
And I want to share also that you can, once you find someone that can cut your acrylics for you or custom cut acrylics for you, you can really get them in any sizes. You can even buy them for your 1/4 sheet pans, your 1/2 sheet cakes. This one, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see. I think this was a 9.5 by 6.5 or something, and I got a set of these just to, like, shoebox cakes, or anything that's kind of like a box. I think I did use this for a Madagascar cake where they came in a crate, so I used this size. Again, just if you can find a local person that you can just run down the street and say, hey, quick, I need acrylics to fit. I have a cake order and I'm using an odd size shape or something. You can just have your acrylics cut, and I'm telling you, it's a real lifesaver. And I can't acrylics, get them.
Yes, it's all about the acrylics, right?
I don't know what I would do without my acrylics, quite honestly. I might have to just throw a couple cakes against the wall at that point.
Yeah, well, it is doable, but it's a lot more difficult. It takes a lot more time. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the scraper that you use to do it, to do the scraping with. I'm sorry, I've got some issues. You want to talk about them for a second?
Sure. These are Fat Girl cakes, and I absolutely love them. This, I think, is the tall one, 10-inch or so, and this is the 8-inch, and I think she has an even larger one, if I'm not mistaken. These, I can't, I don't know if you can see that, but that corner right there is just perfection. And some of the bench scrapers, the old bench scrapers, have a rounded corner, or it's just not as crisp and sharp as this corner. And I don't know I think that makes all the difference in the world when you're laying your cake, when you're laying your scraper down onto your turntable and going around your cake. It's just so sharp and so crisp, and it's just, I mean, I love them. Another must-have.
Yeah.
And this tall one for your double barrel cakes, I mean, really, that is just, if you don't have this, I highly suggest that you also add this to your cake arsenal, because this is just amazing product. And
yeah, I agree completely.
Beautiful. I don't know. I mean, they work on ganache, buttercream. My buttercream of choice is Swiss meringue. I do also do an American buttercream, all butter-based. I don't use Crisco. Sorry, those Crisco lovers. I don't use that.
Yeah.
I don't like it, so I don't use it. But I did have a student come to my home with her supplies, and she did bring a tub of buttercream that she got from Sam's Club. So I don't like that buttercream at all. But I did use my method. I did use the bench scraper, and it worked out.
And it worked.
So
all right, so anybody that does use the Sam's buttercream, you can do that.
Yes,
or any kind of buttercream would work. Yeah.
Whatever you're using.
Yeah, and I've used it with buttercream, and I love it. I think it works just great. You can definitely make it work. Anyway, the bench scraper also is on the website, and you can also find that in that same link that you guys can go to register for the giveaway, which, by the way, is closing in about 7 minutes. So if you haven't registered for the giveaway, go ahead and go over and enter for that. So we're actually giving away a bench scraper, and we're giving away a set of acrylics, and we're giving away a video that Kara has on how to do the ganaching method that she does, her upside down ganaching method. So
it can also be used for your buttercream method as well.
Yes, yes.
Exact same thing I use. I don't change it up. Buttercream or ganache.
Awesome. Yeah, and so that's what we're giving away, and there are links to all of those products in that same tab that is there. So let's see. It is, if you guys can't see it in your chat, I'm not terribly familiar with this new system, but if you go to the pop-ins tab that's up at the top on the where the chat box is, you should be able to see the button that says what it is, where to find it. So go ahead, enter, check out the things that are there, and we actually have they're actually on sale right now. So you go ahead and check them out and take advantage of them. They'll be available for sale for the next 24 hours. So yeah, definitely go check them out. And I'm sorry about my voice and all that. I'm just kind of today. So anyway, now for the actual training. We've talked and talked and talked, and
let's do some work.
We're gonna run out of time for Kara to do stuff. So okay, Kara's gonna show us how to actually, once you have your nice, perfect ganached or buttercreamed cake, she's gonna show us how we're going to cover it. There you go. Look at how gorgeous that is.
Is that not the most beautiful thing? That's why I love ganache. I mean, it's solid. It's not moving. It's not going anywhere. I can press on it. It's not coming off in my hands. It's sharp, crisp. I mean, you have a perfect base to put your fondant on. So I love this. And not everybody likes ganache. Not all your customers like ganache. So you can also do the same method and use your buttercream. And as long as you're working with a very chilled cake, you can get your fondant on there perfectly and easily. So I do have. Should we get started? Should I start showing my handling method?
Let's just jump right into it. Yeah. While she's getting set up, I wanted to show you guys a picture of a cake that she has done, or a couple of them, which I think are just really cool. And you know, the thing that catches your eye on these cakes is how perfect the edges are and how clean it is. This one, it looks like she did wafer paper, which is really fun and really popular right now. So very, very cool. And let's see, here's this other one, another wafer paper one too, but very crisp, clean. It gives you a perfect base to wrap the wafer paper around, you know, and it's just so nice. It's just so nice. So definitely something that all cake decorators, if you're not already, if you don't already have a method to, you know, getting perfect cakes, I would definitely check this out because it's definitely worth it. Okay. So it looks like you're kneading your fondant right here.
I work with cornstarch. Some people. Sorry, you can't see my face, but I'm working. I use cornstarch. Some people use powdered sugar. Whatever, you know, you like, I guess, is what you like. I just like cornstarch for some reason. Don't ask why. I just do. So basically, I'm working with black fondant today. I will say that ganached cakes with white fondant is a little scary. So you might, if you know you're going to have like a white cake, fondant covered cake, you might want to choose white chocolate ganache or use your buttercream. But I'm going to put black fondant on today. I'm making a cake for my nephew's birthday today. So we're going to make it look like a basketball rim. So I'm basically just, when I'm going to show you the paneling method. I don't particularly like to roll out my fondant in one big sheet and drape it over, because that's where I get the headaches of it tearing on me. I can't seem to get the sharp edges. But there are some really great people out there that have shown you how to do. Jessica Harris on her Craftsy class shows the upside down fondant technique to get the sharp edges. I highly recommend that if you love the whole one fondant piece over your cake. It just doesn't work for me. I don't particularly like it. So, you know, cake is like finding a good pair of jeans. Once you find your method.
What works for you, that's what you stick with.
Kind of keep buying 10 pairs. No.
Exactly.
So, paneling works for me. It does create a couple of seams, one on the top of your cake and one down the back. It doesn't bother me, and sometimes I can really, really smooth them out so you can barely see them. And then sometimes the decorations on my cake hides it. But otherwise, there's usually a back to every cake, so make it the back, you know. And once your cake is gorgeous, really, who really looks at the seam other than other cake artists? So what I did is I'm going to roll out my fondant, and I kind of rolled it out into a snake, and I'm going to cover, I'm going to make 2 cuts, one for the top of the cake and then one panel that goes around the cake. So to figure out how much you need to wrap around the cake, you have to basically, it's pi 3.14 times your cake. So if it's 6 inches times, I just say 3, that's 18, and then you add 3 or 4 extra inches on, and so that you get your length. So basically that's about 22 inches that I want to make sure that I'm rolling out to. Can you see this okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
actually, you know what? Your little lower third thing is covering up a little bit of it. I don't know
so
if
I'll
you want
take
to
that.
remove that off or take that off for the.
Is that better?
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect.
Okay, great.
We have a question really fast. Someone's
Okay.
asking what brand of fondant you use.
Oh my gosh. Some of my cake friends are going to say, Kara, you need to be using that Massachino or
The Masa Grishina
Yes.
or whatever. Yeah.
And I would love to. I'm kind of a cheapie. So I use LMF.
You know what? I do too.
Fondant bean. And that is what this is. I pre-made this yesterday. And actually, instead of Wilton fondant, I actually used the Satin Ice pre-made fondant to mix in. So I mixed in pre-made black into this. And you can see how wonderfully black it is. I mean, it's just
That's great.
all made yesterday, and it's beautiful. Now, with paneling, I will say you want your fondant to be on the
Okay, really fast. There's a lot of people that are confused that may not know what LMF is. LMF is Liz Merrick fondant. Liz Merrick has created a recipe. It's basically a marshmallow fondant mixed with a pre-bought fondant, and it really works wonderfully. I have from the time when I had my actual cake decorating business where I was making cakes, I used the Massa fondant.
Yes, it's wonderful.
And it is wonderful stuff, and I love it. And then I stopped making them as a business, and I could not bring myself to purchase, $200 worth of fondant in order to make one little cake for my kids. I just couldn't do it. And so my cakes just went downhill because I was using terrible fondant. And I was like, no, I've got to figure something out. And then here comes Liz Merrick's fondant. And this recipe is amazing. It really is. It's the combination of the pre-made with her marshmallow fondant recipe is just it actually, I think that it works just as well as the massa fondant, in my opinion. And I do mix it with satin ice also. I don't mix it with Wilton. So
it works
yeah.
with satin ice as well as Wilton. We're believers.
Yeah, and you can find that recipe on Liz Merrick's website. It's Artisan Cake Company, and you can find the recipe there. I think she calls it. It's on a blog post of hers. It's called World's Best Marshmallow Fondant or something like that. World's Best Fondant. But you know, if you just do a Google search and say Liz Merrick fondant, you'll find it. It's right there on Google because it is very, very good fondant. Definitely recommend it.
I agree, and that's what I'm using today. So just I've rolled out my fondant. I've got way more than I need to, which is great because now I can cut both panels out of this one sheet. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use my acrylic, the same acrylic that I use to ganache my cake. So it's the exact same size as the cake, and I'm going to put it on this end. And I'm just going to cut around it. I want to come out just a little bit larger than my acrylic because I want a little bit of overhang on my cake so I can trim it down. So that's that. And then I'm going to cut my longer strip. I'm going to make one straight cut on the bottom here. And then I only need to go, my cake is about 5 inches tall, so I'm probably going to go to 7 inches just because I like to make sure I have plenty. And I'm going to make another cut on the top. And I'm going to trim my sides here. Can you see that? I'm sure I'm staying. And then again, I'm going to make sure I have at least 22, and I do. Make another cut. And now I have my 2 panels here. Now, there's a couple ways that I can do this. One is to roll up, I put a little bit of cornstarch so that it doesn't stick. I'll take a small pin because I'm using a small cake, and I will roll my panel fondant up, and then I'll be able to pick this up and then wrap it around my cake. So that's one way of doing it. You bring my cake.
Very nice. Are you rolling on just a table surface? Someone's asking what surface you're using.
Oh yeah, this is my kitchen table.
Perfect.
A lot of before we showed. My kids' breakfast was all over this table. Just my kitchen table. I don't have a lot of space. I'm at home. My house turns into Cake Central when everyone's gone. That's back to normal.
Yeah.
So I have my cake now, and I'm going to place the top piece of fondant that we cut out. And I'm just taking some warm water, and I'm only going to, it's a little bit too much water. I'm only going to just kind of wet the surface, top surface of my cake, not the sides yet. And I'll take my panel and place it on top. I do want a little bit of overhang because I'm going to trim that flush to my cake. So a little bit of cornstarch so things don't stick.
So nothing special to get it to stick, just a little bit of warm water.
Just a little bit of warm water. If you're using a Swiss meringue cake, you really don't need to put anything on it. I don't really work with crusting buttercream, so I would imagine if you were to use crusting buttercream, you might just need to spritz it with water as well. But ganache cakes and crusting buttercream cakes would need a little water. Swiss meringue or Italian meringue, Usually doesn't. I never really wet my cakes. The condensation from the buttercream as it starts to warm up makes it for a tacky surface. So just pressing on my cake, I'm really putting a lot of pressure. That's the beautiful thing about ganache cakes. It can withhold some pressure. This cake has been sitting out since we've been talking, so that to show you too, it doesn't soften as it comes to room temperature. It really holds its shape. Of course, you can't be in a really hot area because it will start melting on you, but as long as your room is around the 65, 70 degrees, you're doing great. So I have, I guess this is a regular straight box cutter maybe, or just a razor. You can get them at any home improvement store. They come in a box of like 100. I suggest you get one and try to use a new one each time. That not each time you cut, but maybe each time you are working with a cake. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to find, can you see that?
Yeah.
And I'm going to find the edge and I'm going to just glide my razor all the way around, doing my best not to, you see that? Not to dig into my cake. I also have a wet cloth handy so I can continuously clean my blade. Dirty blades make for jaggedy cuts.
Yes.
Just continue to go around.
Look at how clean that is already.
Exactly. This is why I like paneling. Had a couple people mention to me that they thought it took a lot longer to do this method than the regular method, and I disagree. Because, you know, when you trim a cake paneling-wise, you're getting an instant sharp edge. When you cover a cake the other way, the regular or normal, usual way, you have to do quite a bit of working that cake to get that sharp edge. So ultimately, time-wise, it ends up being about the same.
It does. It does. Yeah, I definitely use the other method. You know that is Jessica Harris does
The
in
upside
her.
down.
Yeah, I use the actual covering with the fondant and the smoothing with the I think that that's the method that I've always used. I haven't really gotten into the paneling thing all that much. I have a couple of times, but I mean it really is crisp and clean, and I love it. I really do.
You see that? I mean, the top is done. Now I can move on to covering the side. Now, I mentioned that there's two ways that I can do this. We rolled out the fondant, and I put it on a little pin here, a rolling pin. And you can just line it up and then kind of curl around all the way around your cake. So you can do it that way. But the other way that I actually kind of like better is freezing my panel. So I'll have taken this panel, instead of rolling it up, I'll put it on a cookie sheet and pop it in the freezer. And I'm going to go get that for you right now, and I'm going to show you what a frozen panel, how awesome freezing your panel is.
All right, sounds good. Okay, again, while she's doing that, you guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the giveaway. I think has probably closed by now. We will be picking our winner in just a little bit. But for those of you that are interested in this method and in learning how to get those nice crisp, clean edges, again, there's Kara's video that we've just put up on our marketplace, and you can actually go there and purchase it. It's on sale right now. I believe it's $9.99, and you can go ahead and purchase that there, and you can see exactly how it is that she does what she does, and it will give you nice clean edges.
I want to show you this. I have my panel, and I easily can pick it up. It's just out of the freezer. It does defrost quickly, so I have to work a little bit faster. How easy is that? I'm just picking it up with two hands, and I'm going to lay the straight edge that I cut down onto the surface.
It's cool. It looks almost like leather that you're just kind of picking up a thing of leather and
Exactly.
wrapping it around.
It will start to defrost on you, so you kind of have to work quickly, and you kind of
Hmm.
have to have your powdered sugar or cornstarch ready. And so I'm
Oh,
just
the giveaway is still open for a few minutes, Bobby just said. So, so if you haven't yet, go and enter.
nope, I'm not quite down there.
Okay, someone's asking again how you got your black fondant so saturated. You started off with a pre-black, right? And then
No, I started off with the marshmallows, melted my marshmallows, and after I melted my marshmallows, I added the black gel color, a lot of it, to the melted marshmallows before I added my powdered sugar. And it turned out very black. And then instead of adding white pre-made fondant, I just used black pre-made fondant.
perfect. And that is so black and perfect. It's really
And
nice.
so I'm putting lots of this
Yes.
because it has defrosted and it's very sticky now. So that's the only downside to freezing your panel is it does get a little sticky, and some people don't like that. So I have overlapped my panels here in the back, and I'm going to
Hmm.
take my knife and I'm going to run a straight cut through the overlap through both panels. Oh, we're sticking.
It's so hard to show and demonstrate things because you're talking and you're, so you're not working quite as fast as you're used to. So,
No, because normally I'd be done by now.
uh-huh.
And I'm no pressure here, guys. No pressure.
Not at all. We're all friends here, right?
Right. I did get a tear right here, but the great part about this freezing is kind of made it really kind of sticky, and then I'm
You just get to work
making
it
that
back.
go away.
And that's another great thing about this fondant is that it's really flexible and forgivable. You can fix your mistakes pretty easily. Someone is asking, let's see, how long do you keep it in the freezer?
I don't freeze. Oh, the panel. Sorry. This
Yes, the
actually was
panel.
sitting in there too long because I started this before we started the show, the program today. But usually it takes like maybe 5 minutes normally.
Okay. Well, that's
Um,
not very long at all.
no,
You
it
can just,
doesn't take very long at all. Maybe a little bit longer, but usually by the time I roll this panel, put it in the freezer, and then do my top one. And after I
it's
finish
ready
the
to go.
top panel, it's ready to go.
Perfect.
So I'm just trying to clean up this seam. Again, no pressure. It's actually a little, if you do keep it in there too long, it gets a little too sticky. So that might be where I'm having a
Okay,
little. Right.
so the longer you leave it in there, the stickier it's going to
Yeah, it's gonna
be.
get a little sticky. So I'm gonna
Okay.
come back and clean that up once it's moving. I'm gonna move on to the other side. So if you see how beautiful that is,
Yes. So
I don't like
perfect.
borders on my cake. So whenever we can get away with not having a border, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take my razor again here, and I'm going to trim the top. So again, making sure that your razor is flush to the top of your cake without digging into the top of your cake. You're going to trim. I have a little too much going on here. Always cleaning, always cleaning.
Is that a damp cloth that you're using, or?
Yeah, it's just a damp paper towel.
Okay. I think it's very nice to use that razor because you need something that's really thin, really sharp, something that's going to just get a nice good cut.
Yes, you like, it's not dull, it's brand new. Oh, that's why I say it's always best to just get a box of 100 and just use a brand new one. Can you see the sharpness magically happening?
Yes. Someone asked, can you put the fondant that you rolled up on the rolling pin in the freezer? Would it make it easier to work with, or?
You know, I've never done that, so I would not know, but I would imagine that it might get a little weird when you try to go unroll it.
Yeah, it might like stick to itself from the moisture.
Yeah, and it definitely will stick to itself, so you don't want that. So, I mean, that's essentially it. Can you see? No. Can you see how automatically sharp?
Beautiful. It's a perfect canvas right there. That is.
It's. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much done. There's probably a few little things I can clean up around here. Like my back seam, we have some work to do there.
A little bit of cleanup.
And it's a little. I'm just using my knife to trim away. Again, I don't like having to put a border to hide that unkept bottom, which I always get when I use the other method of draping. I'm always getting that, and I don't like it. I really like this technique. It's like I said, it's my favorite pair of jeans.
Exactly.
Not for everybody, but for anybody that is having the sort of issues that I had when cake decorating, I just found what works for me, and this is what works for me. There is a seam. This is a crappy seam, by the way.
You know what? We can't even see the seam.
Okay, good.
It all disappears in black.
No pressure working live, but my fondant did stay in the freezer way too long. But even with it staying in the freezer way too long, I'm still really happy with how this cake has turned out. And this is the front anyway, so let's concentrate on that.
Perfect.
And I could try and show you the seam on top. The other good thing about the cake being a little sticky is that, can you see that?
Just barely. Just barely. You can see it.
Well, you can barely see it in person too. So.
Perfect.
It's really hardly even there. And again, now you have this beautiful canvas, you decorate, now you can have the fun. Oh my gosh, the decorating fun now. This is like a dummy cake, but it's real cake.
Yeah. And you know, if you try to do, for example, the wafer paper wrapping, wafer paper or wrapping icing sheets around a cake is a really popular trend right now because everybody wants something that's got a really cute pattern on it. And to try and wrap it around a cake that's not quite smooth, you're going to get major problems. And even just the slightest little indent or the slightest little angle is going to really mess you up. And so to have a cake that's got a perfect, clean surface where you can just do your decorating and not have to worry about compensating for the wrong angles or the wrinkling or the whatever. Oh, and look at that, cake level and everything.
We love this. This is what we love. When you go stacking your cake, each cake is level, and I mean I don't know if this shows it. But you can see it there too. It's level on the side. It's acrylics, people.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for demonstrating this because I know that there are so many people out there that are looking at these amazing, crisp, clean cakes and wondering, how do you do that? I mean, I can't even imagine getting a nice, crisp, clean cake. And so it's definitely something that is nice to share with people, and thank you for sharing that.
I mean, and you can see how just easy that was too. That was, how long did that take? Maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe? I don't, but I mean, it's done. I'm ready to move on really to the next cake and stack and continue decorating. So again, paneling method is, it's like everything else. You just have to practice. I'm not here to tell you the first time you do it, you're going to be hugely successful. But with everything, you just practice and you figure out your rhythm. And, you know, if paneling works for you, great. If it doesn't, try a different method. The key is, if you start off with a really beautifully either fondant or a buttercream covered cake with the crisp edges, I'm sorry, your fondant is going to go on much easier. Rather than using the one sheet method, turning your cake upside down and getting crisp corners, or using two fondant smoothers to get that edge.
Get those edges.
Yeah. If you have, if you have a ganache covered cake, you're not risking your cake or your buttercream warming up and getting kind of mushy underneath, so you can really press onto your cake and get really crisp corners if you choose to do it the other way. I love paneling. As you can see, I had instant sharp edges by using the razor. So I hope that, you know, you'll try it and see if you like it. I would love to hear about it.
Yeah. Let's all share.
Yes, share.
We did have some
square cake as well. I mean,
Oh yeah. Is that in your video? How to do a square?
No, it's not in my video. It is. I do have a couple of PDFs that show. I believe I do. I don't know if I have the paneling. I might need to do that. But I will tell you.
When you do, let me know.
Yeah, I will let you know. When I go to panel like a square or cake, I use my acrylics. So you can also freeze your square panels, or you can just use your acrylic to help you sort of lift the fondant onto the cake and smooth it on. You use this to sort of size your panels. So acrylics are not just for getting the ganache or buttercream. I use this for lots of things. I use this for cutting my cake board also. I'll line this up and cut my cake boards or cut my parchment papers. So acrylics are really, because they're perfect. They're just perfect little tools. So if you need a 6.5 inch or a 6-inch board to go under your cake, you already have your perfect size that you can just use and run your razor blade around to cut your cardboard. That's it. That's my tricks.
It's perfect. You know, we actually had someone. Sorry about the noise, guys. Someone was asking about how thick are your acrylics. Like, how thick are they? I know that the ones that we have are, I think they're about 1/4 inch thick. I actually went and found some. The first time I ever tried acrylics, I went out to Michael's, and they have some there in the cake decorating section, some just acrylic base plates. But I don't think that they were, I don't know if they were intended to be for actual ganaching cakes. I don't know, but I
haven't even seen those, so I haven't.
But I purchased them thinking, it's worth a try, and they were just really thin. I wasn't really impressed with them, but these ones are nice and thick. They're a good 1/4 inch, and
mine are a 1/4
sturdy.
inch.
Yeah, and these ones actually they do have a hole in the center, and it allows you to. For if you're going to use it for actual structure of a cake, you can actually put, you know, dowels and all of that stuff through it, and for supports and things like that, if you're going to use them as structure. So, yeah, they're really great. Again, over on the link, if you guys check out the link here. I think it's still up. If you guys go to the Pop-ins tab, you should be able to see that. So yeah. Also, I'll have Bobby put that up again one more time for you guys in the chat box. so that you can have that. So we actually have our winner. Yay! And
Awesome.
so what our winner will be getting, again, the acrylic set. It's a 6, 8, 10 in either the 1/4 inch or the 1/2 inch size. We'll let you choose. And when I say that, it's not like thickness. It's like 6.5 or 6 1/4 inch, so that it allows that extra room to be able to get your frosting in there. So that's why I say 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. Yeah. And then also a Fat Girl Cakes bench scraper. Really, really great product.
Yes.
Super excited about that. It is, seriously. The one we're giving away is an 8 inch. On the website, we actually have an 8, 10, and a 12 inch available to you for purchase, so whichever one you want. And then also we'll be giving away Kara's class video that she has, and you can also purchase that through our website again. And if you don't win, let's see, if you are not the winner, go and check those links out and purchase those while they're on sale for the next 24 hours. Let's see, our winner is, it says Michelle Lucio. So, yay, congratulations, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. You're going to love it, Michelle. Be Cake Diva all the way.
Exactly. We cannot wait to see your cakes, Michelle.
Yes, you have to show us.
Awesome. Oh, and then there it is. There's the link up in the chat box for those of you that are not finding the tab link. So go and take advantage of those sales. And I am so excited about this. I think that nice, crisp, clean cakes, I think it's all the rage, and it's really good for our industry to have people have some really nice looking cakes. And it will set you apart from, from everyone that may not be working as hard as you. So it'll be good. Sorry, coughing again. Sorry, guys. Today's just been a yucky throat kind of day. So anyway, thank you so much, you guys, and thank you again, Kara, for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
I really hope that I've helped. I've just helped. I think it's helped me. It has saved me from throwing cakes against the wall.
Absolutely.
I really hope that it helps somebody, and you can always message me if you guys have any questions, or I'm here to share, so let me know. Yay!
Yeah, and like I said at the very beginning, Kara is really great at sharing and helping, so definitely worth friending on Facebook and liking your Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. Oh, what is your Facebook page for everyone?
It's Sift by Kara, so if you just type in Sift by Kara, here, I think I'll put my tag back up.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Put your thing back up so everyone can see.
That's my website, so you can find me. I have a Facebook tab on my website, or you can just enter Sift by Kara.
I disappeared for a second. Okay, but anyway, back just in time to say goodbye. Thank you so much, and thank you all for listening, and we will see you guys all next week. Bye.
Bye, thank you.